Hello guys, this is Suchismita Gupta. Welcome to my channel. I'm from Gupta Palette Tarot website, and today we are going to discuss spiritual authority. Spiritual authority is nothing else other than individual authority. When an individual is recognized, their voice, their perspective is recognized, that is going to help them channel their spiritual authority in the modern world, in the practical world. And since I'm talking about practical world, I practically live in India. And in India, what is the missing element in Indian society, or in what is the missing element for an individual living in India? Why they can't express their spiritual authority? That is what I'm wanting to explore today. So here the main you can say main belief pattern, the collective belief pattern that every individual kind of finds refuge in, is kind of messed up because of many things. For one, the women here are glammed up from the beginning, from childhood, for another man. They are told this story that there will be a man who will be interested in you, and they don't want to hurt this woman that they have kind of programmed to believe that programmed them to believe that they belong somewhere else or with somebody else, and that's why they don't develop their own authority in life, which I'm contradicting clearly here. And because of that, because women not taking that authority, and women are not prepared to see that other, they will find a man, but um, they will be you can say a secret agent their entire life. Like, I had this joke that if I want to investigate and analyze everyone around me, I would directly join an investigative team rather than marrying someone. I'll get directly what I what I really want in life. So they have to be this secret agent all their life. What my husband is doing, what he is going to do, and be responsible for another individual because their entire life is dependent upon that other individual. That's not quite interdependent, right? That is codependent, and most of us live in codependent structures. Codependence is unhealthy, and marriage is it has become codependent structure. So many people have mental um addictions because of that, mental agitations, and because of that, the authority is deflected, and the consequence of that deflected authority is faced by homosexual individuals, guys who have to hide, or women who have to hide their original nature to their attraction point. I mean, their sexual attraction and their natural inclination in life, and they cannot get that authority because women are not empowered on their own to kind of let them be interested in other guys, and not be like so offended by it that the nation has to prohibit love, uh, love expression in any form, because there has to be a way to hold space for perspectives, individual perspectives, regardless of their preferences. And that's why uh, it's very important to nurture the growth of an individual regardless of what they want and want out of their lives as a nation. And I am going to invite my brother Grace in this conversation because he is one such individual who's facing the consequences of women's not you know I mean literally he's not that because I'm contradicting that, but uh, come Grace. So this is my brother Grace.
Guys,
He's homosexual by preference, and um, the current practical side of
sorry.
practical side of Indian society is that there are honor killings. Still, the families do not hold space for perspectives of individuals who choose to live a certain way. So, what are your um, what are your inhibitions to live in this Indian society as a homosexual individual by preference that uh, you have to go through every day?
Um, First of all, um, it's just absurd to me to face this fact that there is a law to criminalize homosexuality in our country, in India, which is funny because to criminalize something it means do this or don't do this kind of a perspective, and this is a very like this can only come from a lawmaking policy that is not developing. I mean, our administrative in the administrative part of India or the Indian government, they have to stop their growth in such a way that such a law can be propagated. Because I believe that homosexual activities or any kind of activities which are quote unquote unnatural, they shouldn't be addressed in such a way that do this or don't do this. It implies that humans are some kind of a animal. Humans have their spiritual core. They are an intelligence which is facilitating the development of life on this planet. So we must honor the intelligence of every individual to understand their needs and preferences on their own and then act out of it. If there is a law that says you should or shouldn't do this, this is not honoring to the individual's authority, which is, by the way, your topic, I guess, spiritual authority.
Exactly. I feel that an individual, our nation should hold space for an individual, and these things must not be decided as a nation. And if it is, then it should be included in the policy that we support this or we don't support this. Um, but either way, it is not the place of any you can say government or administrative officer to present you know any prohibitions if they have not experienced it firsthand. I mean, if they aren't a homosexual, they do not have to speak on what is justice, because this justice system is about, I mean, the criminalization is a concept of justice, right? And justice system, there is no just there is no justice in criminalizing a relationship structure, or like life imprisonment for carnal intercourse with, I mean, what an individual does is completely up to them, and we should not have a say on life imprisonment. I mean, if there is a predatorial nature relationship where children are being abused, or there is, you know, if there is no consent of the other individual they are involving with, then that is by all means criminalization supportive, but it's not because of any criminalization should not be based on religious or traditional point of views against the law of nature. What is that? What is that even supposed to mean? So how do you feel about this injustice that men have to go through and pretend that they are straight all their lives just to just to be part of some environments, or um, even be friends with straight guys, or be accepted in a familiar territory and family, because there are some families that actually um, keep you out of the circles if they get to know this, and you do not feel certainly acceptable, inherently acceptable, um, because as we know that if we if we want to not bother other individuals, they start to internalize that and they start to feel unneeded inherently. That makes them feel unneeded. So you kind of do you kind of feel that you do not feel acceptable by nature?
Of course, I don't feel acceptable by nature, but most importantly, I feel that this kind of a structure actually debilitates the natural intelligence of an individual.
Hmm.
The natural way to apply intelligence in a problematic situation. Because, uh, from my perspective, we are heading into a time in our evolution as a species where optimized collective intelligence is the reality.
Yeah.
So, this includes every single preference that we can conjure as a species. So, in this reality, there is no space for a law that criminalizes certain activities. You
Exactly.
either have a policy, a definitive policy that states, I do want homosexual activity in this country, or a law that states, I do not want homosexual activity in this country. Either ways, it can be worked with. Because if a nation declares that it does not want homosexual activity rather than criminalizing any homosexual activity, it suggests that you have given the individual the choice to decide that if they want to stay in this country, they have to sacrifice their preference. If you say that, I mean, if they don't choose to do that, they can just leave the country. That is simple, and they can vacate the space for other couples who might actually be resistant to the homosexual relationship.
um, but I feel that that will just give them state to state, country to country freedom. I mean, that will make them not belong anywhere if they don't fit belonging somewhere. So we as a country should represent or hold space for our perspective on this issue. We do not have to treat it invisible or in the height, because um, that creates space for more deceit. And if you feel that you are in a straight couple relationship and you would not have to go through all of this deceit, then you are wrong. I mean, this is completely invalid. Personally, your personal life gets affected by this, because straight guys also go through friendships such as this. They go through, you cannot just unregister or not see this issue or hold no perspective on this and go about living your way, because your life is affected by this. All life is affected by something that one individual goes through, because if you don't see an individual, you don't see your individuality. To be individualized, to have individuation in your perspective, you have to have a perspective on every issue that you encounter, and you have to have a solution or resolution with that issue. And yeah, as a human, we as humanity, as I was saying earlier, should provide gift belonging to individuals. Belonging is not a causal point of the country or something like that. Any land on earth cannot provide someone belonging. What can provide someone a belonging is humanity. So we as humanity need to um, have a perspective on these issues, okay? And we cannot just be spiritually authoritative or individually authoritative without having an individualistic approach to these issues.
Yeah, that actually brings me to the other alternative that I was suggesting.
Yeah,
That a nation,
important.
India, actually says that okay, I do not have an active understanding to appreciate this preference or this nature of activity that is going on in my country. This I'm saying from the perspective of the head, Prime Minister, President, whoever,
Mr. Narendra Modi.
Mr. Narendra Modi.
Exactly.
He admits that okay, I do not have an understanding to appreciate this kind of activity, but I am willing to consider or I'm willing to change my perspective. I'm willing to accommodate for a policy that can give guidance to such individuals on how to act or behave relative to this when they are present inside the territory of this country. This may include inviting the perspectives of other homosexual couples from other countries, other nations who are actually doing well in their relationship, who actually have a healthy perspective on it, especially on issues such as adoption and certain things. I have seen instances on the internet, for example, where homosexual couples are actually raising children in a very sensitive and healthy way because they have been treated in that way by their environment. So our environment needs to accommodate for these kind of preferences, especially when millions and millions of individuals are going through this situation. And if there is no energy available to contribute to any kind of distressful situations which require our attention, such as poverty, lack of communication between in relationships, animal abuse, uh, all kinds of abuse that is going on. If there is no intelligence, if there is no energy for individuals like us to contribute into such situations because we are so traumatized by our own preferences, how to behave relative to that, it is an injustice and it is an abuse of authority. It is a misunderstanding of authority that is going on in such a collective level in a nation which has such a large population. And you cannot say that it does not touch you, just as she was saying.
That's foolish.
Yeah, it touches every single person because we are part of the same energetic field that surrounds Earth. We are part of the same energetic field that encompasses every single organism on this planet. We exchange energy with every single organism in the planet. If you feel drained of energy by the end of the day, it is because you have not addressed certain issues, certain problems that have shown up before you in your radar.
I completely agree to that. And it's we need to have we need to have a certain responsibility, sense of responsibility. But because deflection is one point of reference that we all have, and what do we deflect? That is the causal point of all the crimes that are existing on earth. And crimes exist, that's why criminalization exists. So crimes are the reference point of criminalization. Justice is the reference point of the judicial system. And um, to we are subconsciously held back. I'm telling you guys that this is the main cause of why we are not doing all these crimes exist. We even exist in this a third dimensional point of view, and we have to go through our day through this third dimensional energetic perspective, is because that women are not women are living their life in a dreamland. Seriously, by the end of the day, you if you are functioning with an with a vision that a relationship will give you everything you need in life, that is absolutely not true. That is not true. Another individual can relate to you, whether they are male or female. Relationship you have with everyone, and everyone has the reason, personal reason to either attune to your day or relate to your day. And it's not, the main issue is not injustice with your um with lack of attunement to female field. The injustice is you do not attune to your surrounding world. As a woman, it's important that you know that you contribute to your external world, okay, your surrounding world. And that is that thing you can do if you do not focus day in day out in a dreamland, that you will receive a prince charming, or you will get another being who will be solely interested in you and will hold space for you in their entire life. That is absolutely delusional. I'm sorry if I am hurting your feelings, but I have hurt my feelings way before, and I'm doing very, very well today. And my family is very individualistic. We are four, you can say, pillars in our family that create a, what do you call it?
Blanket.
Create a blanket, and we create a whole space for a portal or black hole. Yeah, black hole. We are like concaving four directions. So it's like you have to hurt your feelings for, for a little while, but then you will be far off into the reality matrix, and this reality matrix will exist in spirit and spiritual world, and the invisible walls will become real and visible. Do you have anything else to add to
I
this
can
message?
give a small tip.
Okay.
If you are waiting for a relationship to solve all your problems that you have in your life, you are focused on one relationship that is disabling you from solving all the problems. Find that one relationship, get rid of it. That's all I would say. Thank you.
And I would like to add something that we should, rather than focusing negatively on each other or on relationships, we should focus positively to relationships. That doesn't mean that do not say what you feel. You can feel your negative emotions, but you don't have to be captured by them in life.
You don't
And
need to transmit them
yeah,
to others.
exactly. You can work on them by the end of the day. That is not a responsibility that anybody else can take you. That is your own spiritual responsibility to live day in and day out, doing your internal work and feel your negative emotions, but do not transmit it to anybody else. You have to transform them in your day, and you have to contribute every day to your surrounding world. So thank you. uh, Me and Grace, um, um, what?
Would like to sign off.
Sign.
Thank you for having me, Jasmine, on your channel. And thank you guys for having me. It was great spending time with you. I hope to do this in the future as well.
His channel is called Transparent Membranes, and you can tune into that. I will give the link in the description below if you liked him. If you liked his perspective on life, he's a very soft-natured individual, very sensitive, and I'm sure he everybody likes him. So, yeah, we don't have any mean thoughts on anything. We are not broadcasting something that is unnecessary or irrelevant, something like that. We are holding space for relevant relevant.
Topics that are emerging right now. These things are very important because this is a central point for all the injustices that are happening in our collective reality.
And this
So,
is a game changer, because the women. I want to settle to Egypt because women there are very, they have very honoring perspectives, and uh, if India can hold space for women like that, like not just breadcrumbs, that let our women read and write and all those things. No, let our women have have a life on their own for the entire for the rest of their lives. Okay, okay. So we are enjoying this. Just signing off. Goodbye. Thank you.